I wrote this song. I have this idea for an album that I'd like to put out at some point when I collect enough of these songs. But songs that are traditional folk songs that are just changing the words to them, so it's the same melody. I mean, this is kind of how folk music works to begin with. That Talkin' Blues song would be an example, because I didn't really come up with that melody. It's like been used for hundreds of songs, but one of the great things about folk music is that it sort of gives you this platform to constantly update or create new things out of what already exists. So this song is a song about this song was on my list of songs to write for many years. It was just a name, and the name is Dietrich Bonhoeffer. And for years, I was like, I got to write a song about Dietrich Bonhoeffer at some point. And then, noodled around with some things and finally gave up and then came back to it. And then I just thought maybe I'd just put it to this tune. There's an old Leadbelly song called John Hardy that has been appropriated by Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger and I think Phil Oakes. The original song is John Hardy, and then Woody Guthrie wrote a song called Tom Joad, the Ballad of Tom Joad, and it's just sort of a retelling of the entire novel, The Grapes of Wrath. And then Phil Oakes took it and wrote a song about the union organizer Joe Hill. So, sort of following in the footsteps of that, Dietrich Bonhoeffer. So, and I have a background in theology. I'm really interested in theology, I guess. And one of the things that interests me about Bonhoeffer, especially at a moment like now, is that he was committed to a lot of to spreading the gospel, and he really spoke out when things did not seem to be going well. So much so that he became involved in this plot to assassinate Hitler. And he was a pacifist, but sort of like had this conflicting moment of like, well, is there a time when it's like right to commit murder? So he's an interesting, complicated figure for me. So this is the Ballad of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. There is a man you will hear some about, never had much fortune or fame. Lived and died a hero to some. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was his name. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was his name. Born and raised on German soil at the turn of the century. Studied hard at the Berlin College, earned himself a theology degree. Yes, he did, earned himself a theology degree. He preached the gospel to the poor and to all them that was not free. When Adolf Hitler came to power, he said, "Friends, this is not how this should be. Friends, this is not how this should be." Bonhoeffer joined the ranks of them who spoke out against the Nazi scum. And even though he was a pacifist, he said, about this Hitler something must be done. About this Hitler something must be done. He was silenced on the radio, silenced in the lecture hall. Them Nazis gave him a pretty hard time, couldn't hardly get himself heard at all. Couldn't hardly get himself heard at all. When his anti-Nazi view his friends begged him to come away. They said it ain't safe for none but Nazis over there. He said, that's why I have got to stay. That's why I have got to stay. Joined a resistance underground where he was sworn to secrecy. They made a plan to take Hitler down, called it Operation Valkyrie. Called it Operation Valkyrie. They put a bomb in an old briefcase, got it planted in a meeting room. When Hitler and his generals sat down to talk, that old briefcase went kaboom. Briefcase went kaboom. The explosion killed a man or two, but the attempt to murder Hitler had failed. When he found out who had put the briefcase there, he threw Bonhoeffer and his buddies all in jail. Threw Bonhoeffer and his friends in jail. And there he stayed for a year and a half, writing sermons and letters to the Lord, all the while praying his endless prayer to bring an ending to this awful war. Bring an ending to this awful war. Said the question ain't how can I escape this mess, still keep my conscience clean. The question is how will life endure it all if we stand here and don't do anything? If we stand here and don't do anything. The execution orders finally came down April 8th of 1945. The very next morning at dawn's first light, they hung Bonhoeffer till he died. They hung Bonhoeffer till he died. Some folks say that he could have got away if he had only surrendered or lied. Other folks say all that he ever did was fail, but at least old Bonhoeffer tried. At least old Bonhoeffer tried. Wherever there's evil men taking power and folks see it and they just don't care. Wherever there's a country getting less free by the hour, the ghost of Bonhoeffer's going there. The ghost of Bonhoeffer's going there. Thank you.